Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. It has been a great trading week. We had one of the best trades that we've traded in the week. I hope you guys took that trade. We'll talk about that in a moment. You should have made a lot of money in CHFJPY. Very simple analysis, a very you can almost say in inverted commas, a short trade that you should all have taken if you've watched the video. So before we get started, I'm going to show you again what the video that I did about a week before last on Elliott Wave in 2 minutes. So I think a couple of people, some people appreciated that video that sort of opens their eyes a bit on how to have a look at the Elliott Wave interpretation. Okay, so I'm going to spend again 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, just so to give you an idea what you look at when you trade the wave theory. It is by no means the be all end all of the wave theory. It is just an idea of if we're going to study this, which direction you should be looking at. Right. So before we get to that, let's start with the timestamps. I think for the last 2 weeks I have been giving timestamps as soon as the video is available. So even today I don't see why we can't have the video with the timestamps as soon as it is posted on YouTube. So the timestamps are very useful in that you can come and track only the specific pairs that you're looking for. So if you're looking for a specific pair, just come to the description of the video. Before the comments, you will see there's a show more tab. You just click on that show more tab and you click on the pair that you're interested in. So if US dollar CAD is a pair that you want to look at, you just click on US dollar CAD and it will take you right to US dollar CAD. And if CHFJPY, which I had marked here with the timestamp, that is the trade of the week together with AUDJPY, is the one that you want to look at, you just go and click at CHFJPY. Okay, so makes it very easy, and you can see that analysis over there. Okay, so we're going to talk about this shortly when we start with the analysis. All right, so that's how you can utilize those timestamps. So the nice thing about this is what I like about it is if I want to track a specific pair, analysis for one specific pair, I pick one pair and I track the history all the way back. I started using the timestamps in January, so you can track as far back as January. So you can just pick, for example, one of the best trades of pairs of the year, Pound CAD, EUROCAD. You can track those from January. You just take Pound CAD and you go to my videos, to my channels. If you go to my channel, let's just see here. If you go to my channel here, on my channel, I don't want to waste time. So if you go to my channel and you click on any of the videos, so every single week there's a Sunday, there's a webinar on Sunday, so you can go and look for EuroCAD or Pound CAD or any other pair that you want to track just to verify. Okay, so that's what this helps you with. Right, so even if you're just doing your analysis and you just want to refer to a specific pair, I also still use these videos as well. Okay, so our next course will be starting on the 10th of September. It is now a 2 weeks course. We realized that we cannot, it's always seems so congested in just 1 week, so we have spread it out to 2 weeks. The course starts in September, the 10th, for 2 weeks. So if anybody is interested in the course, send me an email and I will give you more details on the course. So example, the timing, the timing of the course, and also the course contents of the course. You find that when you send me an email. Okay, so even if the course is starting on the 10th of September, as soon as you sign up for the course, you will get a complete course package on videos, which means you don't even have to wait for the 10th of September. As soon as you join up, you get the videos and you start learning immediately. So it is a fully recorded course. What I usually do is if you are signing up now, I usually give you the recording of the August course so that you get the latest content. Okay, so that's how it works. So what is the advantage of attending the course? The advantage is that after the course, you stay with me for 2 years in the premium group. Okay, so somebody asked me what is the advantage of being in a premium group, and this is a typical one I'm going to show you here. So I spoke about this some last week or 2 weeks back when one of our traders who is new, he had not attended the course yet, he made a mistake and he was he had taken short positions, long positions on a UK 100 pair, and he sent me a message. I'm not going to mention them. He sent me a message and said he was in the shorts and he doesn't know what to do. So this is what I gave. This is the chart that I gave to him. So while I'm looking at that, I'm going to be doing the trade recaps as well. So let's just go to my channel here on Slack, and I'm going to go specifically to that pair. I hope I can find it quicker here. Yes, so if you go to your charts and you look at the UK 100 pair, okay, this is the UK 100 pair. This is when this trader who had just joined was in the longs. I think he must have bought it somewhere around here. So, and this was coming down here like this, and he asked for my view, and I said my view is that this is making a three-wave structure, and I'm expecting a corrective structure here. And after the corrective structure, I'm expecting a drop, and after the drop, I'm gonna then expect that we will go to the upside. So with that structure, you can make a decision whether you want to offload some of the position there, or you want to take a chance and come down here, because there is no guaranteed. As much as this is accurate, the wave theory is accurate, I can make mistakes, not the wave theory. The theory is accurate. Okay, so what if I'm making a mistake with my analysis? Then you decide what it is. So what did we get? Post that, we got this corrective structure, perfect as it is. Even the level up to there, that's where the correction came, and that's where it came down. You can go verify on your chart. I don't know if I've put on how that played out eventually, or I actually did. So you can see that correction has now played out. It is now played out, and then the drop. We are now looking to get into the blue box. Let's see if we get a reaction higher. We have just done the analysis on the UK 100 for today as well. We're having a look at this. So that is the advantage you get for being in the trade in the premium group. So let's look at the trades. Some of the trades that we've been looking at in the week. Some we've been running for a couple of days now. So let's just have a look at everything that we have. Okay, I'm gonna start with this Indian stock. This chart I posted to one of my Indian traders who had joined and wanted to know if the wave theory actually applies in any market, if we can use it on the stock market as well. So this is Sun Pharmaceutical from the NSE, which I did on the, I see that's not the date. I think I posted this. I can't see the date clearly here on TradingView. Let's see if I can zoom in. This was a while back. Let's see if I can find it there. But it was somewhere in July. In July, yes, it was in July. Towards July, between June and July, we did this chart. Okay, so he wanted to know if this actually applies in any market, and look how this is flying up right now. So this is so you can see that this does not only apply in the Forex market. This is a stock market from India. So it doesn't matter which market it is, the Elliott Wave theory applies. So you can see that this is where we bought this pair, and it has just been flying since. And I have been updating this on a weekly basis as well. When we were in this correction, I said, watch out this correction. After this correction, you will then get more upside. So that is how that is playing out. It's playing out really nicely. So I hope the guys in India who like to trade the NSE and this stock specifically are actually making money. All right, so that is that one there. The UK 100 we've just spoken about, and that is the chart after. You see that stock is flying now. It is flying now. Okay, that is the Sun Pharmaceutical, which we bought here, and it is now just flying. Okay, and the next one that I'm looking at here is which one is this now? This is Audi New Zealand. Audi New Zealand. Let's have a look here. Audi New Zealand. We did not discuss it here during the webinar. Okay, this is the setup that was posted in the premium group. This was posted in the premium group. You can see here, this was there's a clear three-wave structure for entry and a flag, and you can see this was a textbook setup. This is what you get in the premium group. If it is a setup, if it is a trade, it will show you when to enter, where to stop, and where to exit. That is how it works. All right. So you can get a lot of forecasting charts, but as long as it does not have this, it is not a trade setup. We can see how that played out. That is this is how it actually played out. Eventually, this is out in New Zealand. Okay, from where we entered there, you can see the entry point, as I've indicated, the stop loss. It never went back up after that. Okay, after here, it would have given you a bit of a headache, but what you do is you set and forget, and that is your target there. It is a few pips away. That is how that plays out. Okay, that's out in New Zealand. Now, let's talk about, so I always post these pairs that play out. Does that mean that we're only getting 100%? Are we always getting everything right? No, by no means. We're not getting everything right. Otherwise, we'll be billions of dollars richer if we're getting everything 100%. So now look at this interesting one, and look how painful this one is. So we could see very clearly that there was a structure pulsing move to the downside, and we could see that this is now a move to the downside. So here is a setup. I was looking for this to go back and retest for a couple of hundred pips. Okay, so posted this trade, right? So this trade eventually came up here. It's almost the 15 mark. I think we went as close as 14 ZAR 80 on this pair, but it has taken us out first before it actually went. Came and tagged this level, which is actually what it's supposed to do according to the structure. It could have turned here, nothing wrong. It would still have been a valid structure, but it took us out, and as soon as it took us out, it then went all the way. I don't know if the guys in the trading room have reevaluated and taken this again. I didn't. I let this one go actually because it has not validated the setup that I was looking at. Okay, and also that I just didn't watch it again after this, but it made a very clear three-wave structure now. So that happens. You get this kind of situations. You can see the direction, but the timing can beat you. Okay, so as long as you have got a solid structure, a solid strategy that tells you when to buy and when to sell, without you having to make a decision, that's okay. Okay, but you do not have. We have actually taken that trade, and it is a loss, but that happens. So also pound Audi also, this is the setup. So here the advantage with the setup is this one here. We had this setup here, and we were expecting that we were going to get one more up before we come down. Okay, we didn't get that downside, so we made a mistake. Let me put that one up again. So this was the setup. So the structure was giving us this 1 and the 1, 2, 3 wave in between, and we expected to get this move there before we come down. Okay, we didn't get that because this one just kept flying all the way to the upside. Okay, so would you have lost money here? You would not have lost money because this has not triggered what you are looking for. So that happens. Not everything is 100%, and if anybody is promising you a 100% strategy or a no losing strategy, then those are red flags. So if we trade real charts honestly, and we acknowledge all the risks that there are with the strategy, okay. But this is actually very, very accurate. Okay, so now there is a trade setup that I gave last week that I said was almost guaranteed. And I said 10 lot sizes, you are definitely going to get that trade to the upside. Now, I'm not going to even say much about that. The question I'm just going to ask, this is CHFJPY. The only question I can ask is, why did CHFJPY rally? Why did CHFJPY rally as we had analyzed? Okay, let's just go to use the timestamp here. I'm just looking at it on the video. Not, is this CHFJPY? CHFJPY. Let's see. CHFJPY. Let's talk about this quickly. Okay, this is last week's video. Okay, so this is what you guys don't necessarily get in these videos, the entry point. So look what was happening here. If you were a support and resistance trader, what would you have done? those who trade support and resistance, you would have said this is a significant level. And I have seen some charts. Somebody actually sent me a chart that did this at this level. It made this move to the downside. It made a move up like that, and they actually said it was retesting, and they were expecting a move to the downside. Okay, so obviously I was convicted of my analysis, and I said here last week that we actually expected this down move. This will go to the blue box. It has missed the blue box by a measly few pips, and it rallied so fast in just a week, over 250 pips all the way to that level. It may still go up to that level. So how did we know that CHFJPY was going to rally? Did we know any news that was going to move it to the upside? We didn't. Okay, all we could see was the structure. Understand the structure as it is. Understand the structure as it is. So a lot of you owe me a subscribe and a like of the video and a share of the video after this analysis. I hope it recovered your account. I actually said that some of you may recover your accounts if you get this trade right. So that is advantage. I mean, if you could get a lot of this, I mean, if you just get 3 of this type of trades in a month, your accounts will skyrocket. Okay, so now let's get back to today's analysis. Let's get started now. I said I'm going to show you what Elliott Wave trading is in 2 minutes. Let's spend that 2 minutes doing just that. Okay, I'm just going to go back to one chart here quickly. So now you should ask yourself questions all the time. Just hold on a second quickly. All right, guys, just 1 second. All right, so let's get back to, so how do you look at the wave theory? What does it mean? So I showed this 2 weeks back. So I'm just repeating for the benefit of those that have not seen this before. When you look at the wave theory, this is how it works. So it is a cycle. It is a cycle. So you have learned this, something like this in high school. I'm going to do this in red quickly. I think I've done it a couple of times already. You need to understand the cycle. So if you have got what we call a sine wave here that does something like this, this is your sine wave. This is a full cycle. It's a 360 degrees cycle. Okay, but similarly, you also have, I'm not going to go into detail of this, but there's a whole science on this that you should have done in your school education. All right, so this will be your cosine wave that starts something like this. Cosine wave. Now the question is there any difference between the sine wave and the cosine wave? There's absolutely no difference whatsoever. The only difference is that this one starts here. The cosine wave starts here. So you need to understand where you are in the cycle. If you start counting here, if you start counting your cycle here, you're starting to count the cosine wave. Okay, it's exactly the same thing. This is your starting point. This is your full cycle. Okay, but in this case, your full cycle will be here. And if you're looking at this cosine wave here, your full cycle will be transposed to this level here. So now this becomes your 360 with this 0 as your reference. This was 0, 1. We can just call it 0, 1. So you see, you've got 2 exact same things. So it is exactly the same thing with the wave theory. What happens with the wave theory? So this one in high school, they called this a pulse and a disturbance. A pulse and a disturbance. Okay, so this is half of a pulse. Okay, it was diminishing. This was the disturbance that is happening here. So here you've got a full pulse that starts from 0, goes full and comes back, and then you start with your disturbance phase. So similarly with the wave theory, this is how it works. You've got a pulse and a correction, which is now the disturbance in our case, and you've got another pulse. So after that, you've got a full cycle. Your cycle is completed. And when your cycle is completed, what you're going to have is you're going to have a cycle in the opposite direction. You've got another pulse in the opposite direction and another pulse in the new direction of the trend. What happens after that? The cycle resumes. Okay, so you've got a pulse again, you've got a correction, and then you've got another pulse, and then this cycle ends. So if this cycle has ended, okay, if this cycle has ended, you're going to get exact same thing that you found here. So what has happened here is this. Simply, let's just show you where the cycle is. Your cycle will be here. So the first one will be this cycle. a pulse and a correction. This is your full cycle. This is your first cycle. Okay, and then your new cycle. So let's get this one off here. Now look at this one here. You've got a new cycle here in the higher degree. That's your new cycle and the disturbance. And that is your new cycle that is completed over there. Okay, a pulse and a disturbance. Okay, and here, and then you get a new cycle starting again. What do you have? All you have here is a 1, 2, 3 wave move. And this move has just trended in 3 waves in the higher degree, 3 waves in the lower degree, correction in the lower degree, and another 3 waves in the higher degree, in the lower degree. And that is how the wave, all the waves work in the market. Okay, that is how you interpret the wave theory. But this is just the very, very basics, like introduction of what we do in the course. The rest is to the details of how this works, the levels, and how to actually apply it in the real life market. Okay, so if you are not, I mean, there's a lot of people that still send me charts that are really terrible, and I hope you're not trading money with those charts, because I mean 95% of the people I speak to have never even seen a chart that was analyzed by Elliott himself. So you do not, most people don't have the idea of what was going on in his mind when he was doing his research. You've never seen any of his chart. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever seen a chart that was analyzed by Elliott? Granted, most of his charts were based on on stocks, and the application will be slightly different, but the formula will still be the same. So if you are not applying it the way he did, you are not going to apply it correctly. You're not going to interpret it correctly. And the disadvantage and the reason why I think most people don't really read the Elliott wave theory that was written by Elliott himself is because it is quite complicated. It is old and dull. You know, it's full of text, difficult to understand if you do not have some mathematics or physics, science background. So it's a bit challenging like that. Okay, so that is why you need guidance. So let's get back to today's analysis. Let's start with Euro US dollar and the dollar index. I hope that helps you with your reading or learning of the Elliott wave theory. Right, so let's get started now with today's analysis. I'm not going to waste time. We're going to look at these two pairs. Next week, I'm going to show you something that we did on this pair a couple of weeks back that has actually played out perfectly on this pair. So now, what are we looking at now? We are looking for this to correct and push a little bit lower. We're looking for this to correct and push a little bit higher. Okay, we don't know if this is going to retest that level again. That we'll see as we go along. So let's go into the lower time frame. I'm going to look only at the Euro US dollar. And why are we looking at that like that? So that is you can take a screenshot of my labelings there. DXY is not so clean, so you can just look at the Euro US dollar. Let's look at Euro US dollar. Let's look at one chart there. Okay, what is happening in Euro US dollar is the opposite of what is happening in the dollar index. Okay, so we're looking at this as this was still the triangle there, and we were looking for this to come and give us a 3-wave move to go back to around the 2 area. Okay, is this reversal? We have to see what this is going to give us. Let's go to the 4-hour. Are we going to go to B still? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, so we are busy with the correction here. We've made a 3-wave move up. We've made a 3-wave move up like that, and we are now busy with this move. So we're going to get a corrective structure where this is going to push a little bit lower, maybe even up to this level. Okay, so I'm anticipating a corrective structure that goes a bit makes a sideways move from this level. So let's see what could happen here. If we get a corrective structure in the 1-hour time frame, well, I'm still expecting a push lower on here, at least to the 61% of this one here. Possibilities are that this can even do that, come back before it actually goes. It can even just make a 1, 2, 3-way move and go just like that. Okay, but for the next week, you are still bearish Euro until you see signs of reversal. If you get a nice, decent corrective structure, take it even lower. Let's just go quickly to the 1-hour time frame. Let's go to the 1 hour. Okay, so 1 hour, you're getting a perfect flag there. You're getting a perfect flag in the 1 hour. So those who have not entered the shorts on Euro, you can take that flag, but just be careful now that it has already moved 1, 2, 3 waves down, 1, 2, 3 waves up. Now you've got one, and this could be another one, and then you've got this move here like that. So what will you get there? You're going to get this as a WXY, lower degree, WXY in the higher degree. Possibly after that, then you get that move to the upside. So let's keep an eye and see what happens. So next week you get this one here to the downside. It has to complete that correction here there in the lower time frame. Okay, so that's Euro US dollar. Let's go through the rest. Pound US dollar. Pound US dollar also bearish. We're on the 1 hour time frame, a little bit of a push lower. Expect a further downside on the pound. If I just go one up on the 4 hour time frame, see what we'll be looking at overall. Okay, so this is what you're looking at here. So this is your move. You'll be looking for it to come back at least. It can even come back at least up around. Let's just get this one off and get my lines off there. So pound US dollar, this is what you're looking at. You have made a clear 3 wave move up. Okay, you've got a pulsing move down. Remember Elliott wave in 3 minutes. Okay, you've got a 3 wave move up. We've got a pulse now. What do you expect? You're expecting a correction. You're expecting a down move. Okay, right. So obviously this does not give you the timing. So this is what you'll be expecting. Expect a move to the a corrective move for further downside. You may not get a chance to enter this one as this could keep on moving. Okay, so the best place would have been to enter here, but I was actually expecting that we're going to get further upside up to this level to make this a clear 3 wave structure. Okay, but that's not a problem if you're getting a structure like this, correction, and then downside for the next week. All right, so that is pound US dollar, pound CAD, sorry, US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD, interesting structure. So US dollar CAD could be a typical example of a WXYXZ move. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if we're getting a pulsing move here to the upside and we get a correction, this may come back and retest that level. I'm actually expecting that US dollar CAD will come and retest that level. So 2 ways to look at this: either a WXYXZ move. If it is not a WXYXZ move and it's just a simple WXY move, this means that you're going to have one more down before you go, which means that you've got this as a 1, 2, 3 lower degree, a 1, 2, 3 X lower degree, and then this one is a 1, 2, 3 lower degree before you then go to the upside. That means you're going to have one more down before you go to the upside. What it's showing us now, it is mostly one more down. So which is telling us that it is likely to give us a WXY move other than the WYXZ move. The WXYXZ would have completed. So if you get a corrective structure here in the 1 hour time frame and you start seeing this move to the downside, you may be getting that WXY move, right? So on the 1 hour, let's see, you've got a pulsing move to the downside. Okay, it is not a clear pulsing move on the 1 hour, so this still looks pretty much corrective to me. Okay, so wait for this structure to complete. You do not have a clear pulse. Wait for this. So if this corrects here, then it means that we are ready for a WXY move. Then that sequence to the downside has completed. All right. So that is a US dollar CAD, nothing much to look at. And it looks like for most pairs, that is what you're going to get in the week ahead. Nothing very clear there. US dollar chief in the lower degree. Let's show the higher degree first that we were looking at. Let's go back to the daily on this one, US dollar chief. So if you look at the US dollar chief, we actually actually showed that this was going to drop from here, but the target was not around this area. We were only targeting this level. Okay, it could have been an expanding flat, but it looks like it has gone out of the structure to make an expanding flat. We're getting this one and looking at this one as a 3 wave structure. I showed this one a couple of weeks back that we're going to drop back to this level. It is now pushed even lower. Okay, so what do you do in this case when you reach your target? Do you decide to trail or move your stop, that's really up to you. But you should have made a decision about what you're going to do when you get to this level when you took the trade, not while the trade is running. Okay, trade plan. You need to plan your trade and trade the plan. Okay, so this has now done that, so it looks like it's now going to be more continuation to the downside. Let's take it further down to around this level, which is about the 61% of this whole swing. Okay, for now, we're just looking for continuation to the downside. That's just clearly bearish. All right, so that is US dollar chief. Let's do Audi and New Zealand further downside on these two pair on Audi and New Zealand. Okay, so then your next target on Audi. Sorry, let's do this one properly. Your next target on Audi is this one, because it has made a big pulsing move to the downside from swing high to the swing low here, and it made an A, B, and a C move like that, three-wave move to the upside, and now we're getting this move to the downside with what we call an AB base pattern here, and now this looks like a three-wave move to the downside. So that is why we want this to complete. And if you look at this one here, you can see that this structure is not complete. We've got 1, 2 internally here. We've got 1, 2, 3 internally there. You've got 1, 2, 3. We're looking for this one to come a little bit lower. So from around this level, you may start getting this corrective structure, because if you do not get a deeper correction like this, this is just going to cut through this level. So let's see what happens. If you don't get this, you're going to just cut through. This has already broken this level, so means if you get another corrective structure here on Audi US dollar in the week ahead, in the next week, look to target the next level, which is around 60. I'm not going to say the specific level, but just look at around this level. Okay. All right, so that is what you're going to be looking at. So corrections like this that you will find on Audi like this, So if it makes, okay, it was already made this one here, so this one is ready to come back down to this level. Let's just go down to the 1 hour. You'll see that it has already broken that low. Okay, let's have a look here. This is the low that we're talking about here. It has already been broken. So any correction that goes something like this, take it further down. Okay, because what we were expecting was, I was actually expecting that after this level, this may come and do that before it drops. Looks like we're not going to get that, and the euro is down, looking down as well. So in terms of correlation, this should come down, continue with the move down together with the euro US dollar. New Zealand US dollar, similar. Let me just go back to one back to Audi and just show you the labeling there. All right, so let's just have a look on the daily, so you can look at where that comes from. That is Audi and the labeling. So it is following structure to the PEEP, and we're looking for to come down to this level. So as I said, if you don't get the deep structure, corrective structure here, this will not stop here. It will keep going. Okay, unless you get a corrective structure and it's already far down to make a corrective structure, this may just keep going. Okay, so keep an eye on this one here. Keep an eye on Audi. There is no sign of a reversal anytime soon. All right, so New Zealand, a nice one to take. Okay, this is actually the daily. So we're already bearish on New Zealand, and we have been for a while. Let's go for hour and switch off there. So similar structure as on Audi US dollar, where we would have expected that this one makes a 1, 2, 3 move up, then down. But this looks like it has already broken this low, and if it starts correcting around this level, then it means your next stop is this one here on the 4 hour. Okay, so this can also be broken to the downside. Can come back and still go like that. So your next move in the next week is to look for corrective structure for more downside on New Zealand as well. Now let's look at the US dollar ZAR as the one that I spoke about, one of the trades that we took that went to the stop before it actually went our direction. Okay, you can see that was the setup. That was the setup, clearly indicating where we are buying and where we are going. Okay. All right, so we were premature because this happened when we were here. Okay, and it had also broken out of the structure, so we were ready to go to the upside. Only thing is that it did not take this structure for it to give us one of the Elliott wave structures. So if anybody is interested in US dollar ZAR, it's giving you a nice entry here, but just take cognizance of the fact that we are very close to this level. We are very close to this level over there. Okay, so but that is a couple of quite a number of pips to the upside, but the risk to reward will not be so good if you're taking it there. All right, so that's what you could have done with this one. You can see this is the spike that took us out. We were still holding until this spike. We were holding until this spike that took us out, and we bought it at 1437. Okay, went as low as 1390. Okay, before it went our way. So no use crying over spilled milk. You didn't. It's part of trading. You lose money, you make money. Just make sure that your winners are bigger than your losers. All right. So look out for entry when this curve flag completes. So this can come back to this level. What will the structure be? It will be one. Let's do it with different colors because this is a very interesting structure. It's a very clear structure on US dollar ZAR. Okay, so what are you looking at there? You're looking for this one to give you a 1, 2, 3 now. And then if it gives you that, you'll be looking for this move here. You'll be looking for this one to come down here like that. And then we'll possibly even break the 1540 level if we get that structure like that, because this will be a bigger corrective structure on US dollar ZAR. All right, so alternatively, this can just keep going back to retest the 15 ZAR 34 that it tested on the 13th of August. Okay, so even that, it can still come back for this one. It will come back for this one, which with the 3-wave correction internally here. It's a very clear structure on this one, whichever way it comes. So that's why if you're gonna take it there, you need to move your stop level, your stop loss to break even when you get to that level, because it can turn here and then go, or it can go all the way up and retest. It is not going to come here and just go all the way straight. Okay, it will still come back down. It will retest. It may retest the previous high, but it will have to come back down for either of the move, whether this goes from here or whether this one goes from there. Either way, we're looking for these two reverse from that area. So we may even retest the 14 ZAR lows on that one. All right, so very clear. Those who are interested in US dollar ZAR, we've got a clear structure for the next coming couple of days. Pound JPY, going to move a bit faster now. So looking at the yen pairs, pound JPY. Pound JPY, you're looking downside. Okay, we've made a move to the upside. You need a correction there. If you get a corrective structure, take it back to that level. Okay, easy. Looking at the rest of the yen pairs, US dollar JPY. Now you'll see there's a slight difference between pound JPY and US dollar JPY. You've got a passing move to the upside. You'll be looking for this one to retest that level. So US dollar JPY has the potential to even retest the 13 ZAR area in the next trading sessions. Okay, so if this is your 3-wave structure here, let's just have a look here. What's the 13 ZAR? Oh yeah, this is the 13 ZAR. We are looking for a much higher target. So if this is a 1, 2, 3 down, can be like that. This will be a 1, 2, 3 down. If that is the case, and we are getting this one is a corrective structure like that, this can possibly retest that level. So if this starts going sideways and make a structure like this, you are going to retest the 13 level, possibly reverse there before we go, or it can even go straight. So look out for a corrective structure in the next coming week here for a move to the upside on US dollar JPY. Let's get 1 hour time frame. Okay, So it's a little bit of a mess on this structure here on USDJPY. Look out for a corrective structure that will take you minimum up here, and then maybe another correction, and then before you go all the way up to initially 11, not 13. It's not going to go to 13 in one move. Okay, so possibilities that you get a correction, before you get to that level. So you can see this is a slow move. We don't really like trading these corrective structures. The type of moves that we want are these pulsing ones. These ones can give you a roller coaster ride of emotions. All right, so that is US dollar JPY, EURJPY. EURJPY made a three-wave move down. Made a three-wave move down. Correction there. 1, 2, 3. Looks like it's making another three-wave move. We could be still bearish here on this flag. So look out for this small flag here to break to the downside. It's still going to continue with the move to the downside. Right, so it's EURJPY. Now, CHFJPY, need I say more about this? I can't talk more about CHFJPY. All right, so CHFJPY may still have further upside. Okay, after making the impulsive move down, 1, 2 could come and give us a structure like this, which would be a three-wave pullback and still go back to the 15 area that we were looking at, 115.50 level that we were looking at. It just missed it by a few pips from last week's analysis. Now, this was one of those nice trades. So this is that move that you looked for. We wanted this to correct at this level. Okay, made that nice three-way move to the upside very quickly. So you should have entered here, could have entered there, could have entered there. So during Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we discussed these pairs in our premium group. We discussed this on Sunday when it was here. Monday, it made a move. We waited for a correction, discussed during the daily webinar, made another move, discussed during the daily webinar. So actually, this was Monday, and this was, I think, around Tuesday. So two entries that you could have got even if you missed the first part on this pair. It was very easy trade. I hope you all made money on that. That is CHFJPY. So now we need to see how this one plays out. So this could be giving us a V pattern here. May slow down here like that, giving me a structure like that. Okay. Now let's see how it plays out. You cannot go and rush or sell this one just because it moved up so fast. So it still looks very much bullish at this stage. All right, so that is Chief AUDJPY and New Zealand JPY. Let's have a look. Continuation to the downside here. Let's talk about AUDJPY, right? So AUDJPY, I discussed this same time as CHFJPY, and it was also one of those that we expected to definitely go because it had made this move here. It had made a clear, not like that. It had made a clear three-wave move there, and it looks like this was the first part of the second move there. So we got this one. We didn't get this one as we expected. We expected that we're going to get at least back to that level. But this does not invalidate the structure. The structure is still valid in the higher degree. Okay, we wanted the structure to look something like this, but even if it looks like this, it follows the guidelines that we use for our strategy. Okay, so this one did not play out as we wanted, and even when it did this year, I was still not interested because I thought this was just building up this structure, okay, for one more to the upside. And yeah, now it has made this move. So the interesting thing about trading this correction is that you're trading the correction as much as this would have been a sure move. That is not really the move that you are waiting for. You are waiting for this move, which we did not get. We did not get because it did not play out as set up. Okay, so I was waiting for this move, and you'll see on one of the previous Audi US dollar trades that I've given something something similar to what we did on CHFJPY, that we made a three-wave move up, and then after that we got the big move to the downside. So trading these corrections, we do that in anticipation of these bigger moves, because we understand that after the correction we need to get a cycle, okay, an impulse in the prevailing direction of the trend. Okay, so that's AUDJPY. So look for continuation to the downside. New Zealand JPY, New Zealand JPY, New Zealand JPY. We may just get a three-wave bounce there, and the three-wave bounce could just be for continuation to the downside and looking to come back to that level. Not going to come in a straight line. Look for corrective structures to take it all the way down. That's New Zealand CADJPY. CADJPY, let's see, also making a three-wave correction. Could come down and do that and be a little bit more sideways than the others before it actually comes to the downside. So let's wait for this to play out. It's very corrective at this stage. Okay, we actually wanted this one to retest this top here. It did not get to that level. I wanted it to come back to this level. It did not get there. So let's see the structure that it will be playing out. So if we get a correction here, next stop could be that one. Okay, so making this a 1, 2, 3. Not gonna be a flat correction because these sizes are not really equal. So it cannot be an A, B, not like that, A, B, and then a C. It cannot be because this is not really, in terms of the degrees, not the same size as this. Okay, but in any case, let's wait for this to correct. When it corrects like this, and if you get a decent correction, keep an eye on this one. It's going to come back down to this level. Challenge is that it has already broken now the level, so it can actually turn anyway and give you a running flat. So you need to just watch for reversal. All right, so I think that's all the yen pairs. Now let's look at silver and gold. There's something very interesting on silver, but let's start with gold first. So gold, let's go to the daily. Gold, we're still looking for this to come back to this level. Okay, is this the reversal from this area? It looks like it wants to push higher and then come back down. Remember, you cannot trade individual pairs in isolation. You need to trade the whole market. Well, what do I mean by the whole market? You need to understand the correlation of the whole market. Let's have a look at this one in the lower degree and see what is happening here. If I go to the 1 hour time frame on gold, the lower time frame structurally is showing upside, but silver is showing something different, and silver structure is more clearer than what you're getting on gold. So we have made a three-wave move to the upside. Okay, with a possibility that we get this whole correction and then we move to the upside, but that will invalidate the move that we're still anticipating to the around 1120 area. So what am I anticipating here? I'm anticipating that this could be an expanding flat here, and we could be getting a correction here, and we're going to get further move to the downside. Okay, I'm disqualifying this move because silver is doing something different. It's showing something very interesting on silver. Let's have a look at silver. Okay, so if you are I'm looking for downside specifically because of what silver is doing, because this structure on gold, if I was trading structure alone, it is telling me that I will go to the upside. But let's have a look at silver and see what I'm talking about here. Silver. Did I miss pound when we did the US dollar pairs? Oh yeah. Okay, I'll have a look at it. I think when we did the yen pairs, let's do silver and gold first, and then I'm gonna go to pound yen. Thank you. All right. So silver. Let's go to the daily time frame and see how this is playing out. So silver, the last time we wanted silver to, let's do that. Wanted silver to come back and retest this level here. This level. Those of you remember, we wanted this one to retest this level, and said this will be a very nice and interesting buy level on silver. Okay, so now what am I anticipating? And this is the reason why I'm saying I'm expecting that gold will have a further move to the downside, because I'm anticipating that silver will come and retest this level. Okay, based on the structure that we're looking at here, you're getting a corrective structure here. And if this corrective structure breaks to the downside, your next level on silver is around 1350. Why? Because you've got a clear 1, 2, 3 wave move to that level. It can even break it, but I'm not anticipating that it will be broken by this move. Right now, you're getting a corrective structure at this level that we wanted it to retest. Okay, we wanted it to come and do that and then come back down like that. Okay, so it is not doing that, but instead it is correcting, and we'll be looking for further downside. So wait for this corrective structure to complete. Okay, you need to understand a complete corrective structure, because you can enter this and it can still give you one more up and then come back down. So silver bearish in the next coming sessions. All right, so this is the daily. If I go to the lower time frame, let's go to the lower time frame. So in the lower time frame, you can see the reason why I'm saying I don't expect gold to have further move to the upside is because silver has completed this 3-wave bounce. Okay, it has already made 3 waves down, 3 waves back, and we're now coming down to this one. So it can come back for one here, and we start going like that to that 1350 that we are looking for around this area. So if you get that move here on silver, we're coming down here to that level. So give it, have a look at it in the next coming sessions. If it does not give you that retest of this one here, it doesn't matter either. Even if it just gives you a corrective structure where it is right now, you can take it down back to the 1350 area, okay, before we come back up. That's silver. Now I had missed pound yen. Let's have a look at pound yen. Pound yen, we actually dissected this one in the premium group from historical data all the way down to the 4-hour time frame. And this is what this one looks like. You guys only see the last piece of the puzzle. Okay, you don't see us putting together all the pieces of the puzzle to understand where the strategy comes from. So here you've got 1, 2, 3, you've got 1, 2, 3 pullback, and we are expecting that this is a 1, 2, 3 down, not in that degree. We're expecting that this will give us a move. We've already made a move. We're expecting a move and a move to the downside. Okay, you already have a passing move to the downside, so this move to the downside could have started already, this move. So wait for the corrective structure to come back down. So, but let's go to the lower time frame. Let's go to the 1 hour, show the possibilities. Because if I'm showing you this in the higher time frame, you'll only expect one single wave. Whereas in the lower degree, you've got more than just one wave. So what do you expect in the lower degree? You see it has come down in 3 waves. So this could be something like that. Whatever structure you get here that is corrective, any of the corrective structure that you learn that Elliott discovered in his theory, you can actually take this one further down. So this is what I mean by this does not, in the 1 hour, 4 hour, it looks like I'm just expecting this to come back all the way down there. So this can have an impulsive move, a corrective move, and an impulsive move before it comes down. So you should anticipate all these possibilities. So if you're getting a corrective structure here, your first target is not going to be here, but rather somewhere around this area. Okay, so that's how you look at this. Look for the corrective structure on pound yen. Right, so now let's have a look at the pound pairs. We'll start with pound chief. Did we do pound US dollar? Let's just make sure that I did pound US dollar. I did pound US dollar. So pound US dollar, very clear. You're waiting for this one. Correct. It looks like it's done. You're coming down. I was just recapping to make sure that I didn't miss pound US dollars, because pound US dollar and pound chief are exactly the same. Pound chief, higher time frame, we are looking downside. Okay, so this is what we're looking at here. We've got 1, 2, 3 there. We're coming down. We came down in 3 waves. We're getting a corrective structure here. If you get a corrective structure, you're taking it further down. looking at that level. Okay, looking at the 1 hour quickly, or rather, let's see if the 1 hour will be clear enough. Okay, so this is a pound chief. So on the 1 hour, this could actually, on the 1 hour, we're still looking downside also. Okay, so you're looking even more downside, can come back down here, bounce back, and done. For me, it doesn't really matter if you can just keep selling this all the way to the downside and anticipate there's a possibility of this to come back and retest this level before it drops. If you see it coming up to this level, just look at it as an opportunity for another good entry. So that's pound chief. All right, pound Audi. Pound Audi has completed a flat correction, and you can see that, okay, that's actually a 1 hour 1 hour reversal. Doesn't mean anything as yet. You wait for a corrective structure here to take it down. Okay, but we also need, when you're at the reversal, you need to take a cognizant sense of the fact that that can just be a corrective structure. So you take it knowing that this can just be a corrective structure, or it can come back around that level. So why are we looking for this one to reverse from that area? If you look at the daily, we have completed a flat structure there. Okay, we've completed a 1, we've completed a 1, 2, 3 flat structure. Is this going to reverse from here? You will only know if you get a pulsing move to the downside. Okay, right now you've got a pulse in the lower degree. That does not mean anything until you get a corrective structure to indicate reversal for a move like this. Otherwise, this can just come back and retest this level. If we start correcting here in the, in the higher time frame like that. Okay, so that is pound Audi. Pound CAD, don't forget the correlation between these two pairs. Pound CAD looks likely that it has completed a 3-wave bounce, and we are going to carry on with the move to the downside. Remember, pound CAD, we're still looking for it to come back down to the 88% of this. And if you want to understand why we're looking for the 88% of that move, go and check the previous charts last week, week before. You'll see the correlation between pound CAD and pound Audi. I indicate that we are looking for this to come back down here. Okay, after this corrective structure, we'll look to come down. All right, so that's pound CAD. Lower degree on pound CAD, let's go 1 hour. You've got a passing move to the downside in the 1 hour. Wait for it to give you a corrective structure here, a clear one. Right now, you've got a pulse. It is a clear pulse. A corrective structure will tell you that you are coming down. Okay, so that is pound CAD. Pound Audi we did. Pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand, a little bit tricky here. This does not look like a move that is coming down. Okay, this looks like a corrective structure. So this can come back down here and carry on with the move to the upside. So look out for that flag for continuation. Okay, but let's have a look at the higher time frame to see if there's any structure that can be completing in that level. Let's have a look. This is the daily. So yes, very clear structure on pound New Zealand, very clear. You've got this move, 3-wave move to the downside, and you're getting this 3-wave move to the upside that could come back and retest that level. And what structure will that give you? It will give you a structure like this, okay? And then the move to the upside. So where are we now? You are here. Let's do this one in green. So we are here. If you get a corrective structure like this, then you're completing this move. What does this do? I hope you can see clearly if I go to the lower degree. This B wave has got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, making this a B that has got a WXY. It's a combination B. Okay, what do you have there? Actually, not even a B. It can be a B if this now becomes an A, B, and this one becomes a pulsing move, then this will be a C. If it's not a pulsing move, this is gonna change. Okay, so you need to understand when it's a WXY, when it's an ABC move. Right, so what are we looking at? We are looking for this to complete the B move back at that level. Okay, so pound, you need to watch in the next session. If you get a corrective structure like this in the 1 hour, take it back to this level. Okay, that's pound New Zealand. All right, I think that's all the pound pairs. Now we can start with the euros. We'll start with the euro pound. Euro pound. Euro pound, very interesting. You've got a very interesting structure. Okay, so I have not traded this pair since I took a shot at this level and it came back down to this. Okay, I have not traded this throughout this whole correction. It has just been a mess. Okay, I have not taken any trade on this pair since 2017 November. Okay, since 27 around September last year, I have not taken a trade on this because it has just been this mess. So you need to know when to stay out. So now there is a clear structure, right? There's a clear structure on this. Let's show this one here. It has been a very confusing structure on this one because even though you got more pieces of the puzzle, it just kept getting and more confusing. Now it looks like we've got a clear structure. It's a clear three-wave structure like this one here. You've got a three correction, three-wave, and now you're getting this X wave correction. Now you're getting this passing move for a possible move to the Y. So if you get a corrective structure on this one, on Euro Pound, you may be coming all the way down to at least this level. Okay, so next week, look out for a corrective structure in the 1 hour, entry points in the 1 hour on Euro Pound. 1 hour, just go to the 1 hour, look out for those entry points. Okay, so every time you get a corrective structure like this is a clear corrective structure. Okay, this is not a corrective structure, it's too small. So you need something like this. Okay, so that's what you need to look out for. All right, so we may be getting a 1, 2, 3 correction there before we get continuation to the downside. Let's do it clearly. 1, 2, 3 correction before we get a move to the downside, because it looks like it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we should be getting an ABC move. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, ABC, and then a move continues to the downside. Okay, so that's what you're going to be looking at. Look for these two correct. But if it keeps giving you these ones, keep selling them. That's Euro Pound. Now a clear structure. Okay. All right, so Euro Pound. Let's do the rest of the Euro pairs. Euro New Zealand. Okay, Euro New Zealand. It is making this corrective structure. It's a sideways structure. Okay, 1, 2. Can we come back down here like this and make another corrective structure for further upside? Why are we looking for this to go up here? Let's first look at the higher degree and see what is happening on the daily. Okay, on the daily, don't forget what we are looking out for here. Let's switch this rest off here. On the daily, we wanted it to take here. Okay, so now it depends on what it does from here. If we correct from here, the next stop will be 1,000 pips away to that level. Okay, similar to what we're looking at on the pound, we're still looking for further upside. Okay, so now what does this look like? Does it look like a reversal? You need to wait and see what you're getting here. If it's a pulsing move, again, we will look for this to come back down to that level. All right, that's Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand. So let's look at EURCAD. EURCAD has made a pulsing move to the upside. Now the question is whether this three-wave move to the downside, this three-wave move to the downside and the three-wave correction that we had there, and the move to the downside, is this now a corrective structure that will go back and retest this level before we come down? Okay, so we need to keep an eye and see how this correction plays out here. Looks like if you're looking on the daily, it looks like we had a pulsing move to the downside in the lower time frame. Let's see what the implication of that pulsing move in the 1 hour or the 4 hour. Let's see how that one looks. Remember, we are still very bearish on this one. Okay, not the best pulsing move. Actually, the pound CAD had a better one than this one here. You don't have any setup here. You need to get a entry point like this to take it further down. Okay, be careful. This could be an expanding flat for further upside before it comes down. Okay, so that's EURCAD, EURAUD. EURAUD, we look at this reversal there, wait for a corrective structure, okay, for further downside. Okay, could give you one more up, or it can just go from there. But for now, you've got a pulse, you look out for a correction, you can take it down from there. Okay, so the euros will be short term, weak in the next coming sessions. All right, let's carry on. That is EURAUD, EURCHF. EURCHF, a big move to the downside. I'm anticipating that it will break this area, corrective structure here in the 1 hour. You're getting continuation to the downside. Let's just open up the higher time frame and see where we're going with this daily. Right, on the daily, you are looking at a euro. Okay, it has made a 1, 2, 3 wave move down. Okay, so if it's breaking down here, this may be coming all the way. Let's see here. It may be coming all the way down. Let's just check something here in terms of the structure. Remember, when I do this, I am not doing this because I want to trade the break of a trend line. I'm doing this because I want to check the channels. Okay, the channels is what tells me whether the structure is complete or not. So if we just do this one here, it doesn't have to touch. That's my channel. So let's see how this one plays out. So if I'm getting a corrective structure here, you're taking it down, and your next stop will be that level. Your next stop will be this level on EUROCHF. Okay, but it may just do a 3 wave down. We've got a 3 wave down, a 3 wave back, and another 3 wave before we get a deeper correction, and then a move that will then take us all the way down. Okay, clear structures. That's EUROCHF. Does it cover all the euro pairs? I think it does. All the euro pairs covered. Now let's look at some of the Audi pairs. I see somebody's already typed Audi New Zealand. Very interesting Audi New Zealand. Let's have a look at Audi New Zealand. It's a few pips from the target from where we bought this one here. Now let's have a look. If you're looking at this, if we're looking at it like this here, you've got a 1, 2, 3 wave move there, and it has gone down with 1, 2, 3 wave move. Okay, so this will very likely hit our target. Now let's have a look here. It's quickly. All right, so two things can happen here. Either this is a 3 wave move pullback for this one, or it makes another 1, 2, 3 to retest that level, come back down, and then a move to the upside. Okay, so what move are we looking for at the upside? Let's just quickly show what we'll be looking at. We'll be looking for it to go and retest that level. But the way this structure looks here is very impulsive, and I'll be anticipating that we won't even retest that level. We'll be getting a correction here, and we're going to be coming down to retest this. This is not short term, guys. A lot of things can happen here in between this move and where the price is right now. Okay, so those are the two things you can wait for. As much as there's a possibility for this to have been a 3 wave move down and then come back there, break this level and test that one, right now the odds favor the downside and correction to the downside. Correction for more downside. Okay, that's Audi New Zealand. All right, so let's look at New Zealand CAD. You are coming down New Zealand CAD, one of my favorite pairs. Okay, this is a daily, and it looks like you would have missed this move here, this correction. Okay, it is correcting again. That could come back up for one more to the downside. Why am I looking for it to come back down? Because we've got a clear analysis on this one here, on this New Zealand CAD. Look at this. Look how complex this one looks. So we are looking for this to come back down here to this level before we start with the move to the upside. Very clear structure, this one. Right, so that's New Zealand CAD. Any other pair that I missed that we look at here? AUDCAD. We're still going to look at oil. Okay, we're still going to look at oil. So this one is still coming down. Also, AUDCAD, we're still coming down. So the Audi is still weak. We'll be looking for this one to go to, let's see, go back to this level. Go back to that level. So let's see how that plays out. So this is still coming down. Now let's look at oil. Oil. Okay, so now check how we looked at oil for the last couple of days. I'm going to go into the 4-hour. Oil has made a clear 3-wave move, a 5-wave move to the downside, and we identified this 5 waves after it has played out. We're expecting that we're going to get an ABC move to the downside. Okay, and then it started doing that, and I expected that it was going to make a sort of a diagonal. Okay, didn't really make. Is this really a diagonal? Let's just have a look if it can qualify. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is actually a diagonal in the C wave. Actually, a diagonal in the C wave. Let's just show that diagonal with a 5 that breaks. Okay, now you've got that. Let's just verify that we've got an actual diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you've got a diagonal there. So you've got an ABC move there. ABC move. And then what do you expect from there? You expect that you're going to get a correction and then move to the upside. So after this correction, the only thing you don't know is whether this correction will retest that top before it drops back to that level. Okay, see, somebody made a comment on the description of the video, valid question, that it actually thought that I was making 2 different analyses. I changed my bias. I did not change the bias. So when it was 1, 2, 3 here, said, look out for it. This can go like that, all right? But I don't really expect it to just go like that. So I expected that this will give us a pulsing move and a correction, and it will come back depending on the structure that it will give us. It can retest that level, or it can just give you another 3-wave structure like that, giving you a WXY move. So it just depends whether what structure that WXY move is going to give you. Only then will it go. Okay, so if I was saying it was going to go down, I was saying this is going to be the correction. We're going to get to that level that will complete the X with this, which is relative to these degrees. 1 down before we go. We don't even have to get that 1 down. It can just go straight like that. But the market will tell us beforehand, and you won't miss this move if you're tracking it, because either way, you will see what the market is giving you. So that is oil. Looks pretty much upside. You need to be careful with the upside because it could start correcting and give you a similar size correction as that one there. All right, and then that correction will tell us that there's continuation for more upside. That is oil. And I think now we can look at the indices. Looking at the indices, let's look at the S&P 500. The indices have just been easy to trade for the last couple of weeks. You just keep buying the corrections. S&P 500 has now eventually broken that level that we wanted it to retest all along. It has broken and moved out of it, so which means now the structure that we are looking for on this one is no longer this one, but rather only this one. There's a specific reason for that, because this pattern does not exist in the Elliott wave theory. So now we have got this, let's see here. We have got this, as you can see, that I've already adjusted that single, that looks like a single wave down. It is actually 3 waves to the downside that is corrected in wave 4, and now we're looking for this to go all the way up like that. So this may not even be the WXY. Let's have a look. So this has broken, and now you are going to keep buying this to the upside to go and build a blue wave 5. According to our projection, a blue wave 5 will not be reached by next week, so you can keep buying this one. All right, so S&P 500, NASDAQ. NASDAQ has long broken the structure that we are looking for on S&P 500. It broke it here. This is the structure on the NASDAQ that is similar to that one you have on S&P 500. It has broken it already. So this is the correction. You are looking for further upside on the indices. Keep buying the flags. Easy. You just keep buying the flags. Okay, they're busy with their fifth waves, with the primary fifth waves. All right. Why do I ignore the triangles on S&P 500 and the S&P 500? I don't see any triangles. I don't see any triangles on the S&P and the NASDAQ. I don't see them. Okay. All right. So if it's a triangle, I'll see that it complies to all the rules and the guidelines that we use. But right now, I am not seeing any triangle on the NASDAQ. I don't know where you're seeing the triangle, which time frame. There's not a single triangle that I see there. All right, so let's carry on. UK 100, UK 100. We've already done with that analysis there. Let's switch this off here. Okay, UK 100 may be coming back down here into the blue box, and then we're going to be expecting a reversal around that level. So we've done this one during the trade recap, as I showed. So why is this one coming down while the other indices are going up? It's all about the strength of the correlation, and the correlation coefficients it always changes over time. So it is not fixed. So right now we're coming down to the blue box. A few more pips to the downside. A few more pips to the downside, and you'll be looking for this to come back in here. Okay, let's switch off and clear and see. Yeah, a few more pips to the downside. That's UK 100. All right, the Nikkei. Nikkei 240. This is a corrective structure. Nikkei still needs to come back to that level. That is the high that the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 has already broken. Okay, correction. We're looking for that one to go to that level. All right. Nikkei. That is what you're looking for. Corrective structure, more upside. DAX. Why is the DAX coming down while the others are going up? Okay, so the DAX looks like can come down with the Nikkei, with the UK 100, this level, or even this level. Let's actually look at the structure that it is making. Okay, so the high that the others have already broken on the DAX is this one. So now it has made a 1, 2, 3 wave move to the downside. It made a passing move, and we expect this to be a corrective structure. Should come back lower. So that is why this one will expect that you can get more correction for more downside before we come back to retest that level. Okay, so the DAX still looking weak in the next coming sessions, and you'll be looking for this to come back to that level. Okay, it has already broken out of this 3-wave correction. You can see 1, 2, 3 up, and now we've broken up, down. You're looking for this to take it back there. All right, so that's the DAX. Easy. Okay, you may have a very nice trade there. It's a nice setup actually on the DAX. All right, NIFTY is just on an up and up and up. That's why you can see the stocks are flying as well. All right, so let's have a look here. There is a 1, 2 there. You've got a 1, 2, 3. We'll be expecting a 4 at some point, and a 5, and this will complete a 4 and a 5 in the high degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, So let's see how this one plays out. I'm not going to do the whole structure, but you just anticipate that we're going to get a correction similar to this one here before you get a bigger one that is similar to this one. This one has pulled back, so this one, because of the alternation guideline, it may go a bit more sideways before we go for for a wave 5. So only thing to look out for here is to get the corrective structures and keep buying the indices. All right, so now let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin 4 hour. Let me show you the structure that I have for the last couple of weeks. Right, so I expected one more down, or a slight more down before we actually get a move to the upside. Okay, I thought this was just going to come take this and then give us that move that is currently happening, but that's okay. All right, so possibilities are this for the Bitcoin to come and firstly retest that level. You need to get the corrective structure here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're looking upside. If we get a corrective structure with the current up move, doesn't look like reversal, we could be retesting the 8,000 level. Okay, but overall structure that is, as you can see there. I think let me just remove all these lines. All these lines. These are just channeling lines to show me the structures. Okay. So I expected that this will come back down for a Y before it go up. It goes up like that. But what has changed now? Nothing has changed. You just adjust the Y. It has completed there. Adjust your X. It has completed there. Okay. Your blue Y will still be there. This analysis was telling us that we were going to come back for a Y, and we move down like that. So what do you need to wait for? Wait for the corrective structure. It is not convincing, and it is very slow as well. So make a reaction in that level before we even go up, go to the upside on Bitcoin. Okay, so the move that you have now currently looks motive. Get a correction. I'm not interested in this. It's not moving fast enough. That's Bitcoin. And looking at Litecoin. Litecoin, we similar to Bitcoin, it has made a 3-wave move up. This one actually pushed lower as we expected. 1, 2, 3-wave move. Okay, we need to see if we're going to get a correction and get another 3-wave move to get the upside that we're looking for on Bitcoin before we drop. Okay, let's just have a look on the higher time frame. Okay, so in the higher time frame, we are looking for this to eventually come back to that level. Okay, let's have a look here. Why do I have a black dot there? Okay, I've got two boxes. Okay, we are looking for this to come back down into the blue box, and that is the structure that you're looking at. This is looks like a 3-wave structure currently. If it breaks, we are coming back down to the blue box. All right, so Ethereum, not very clear the cryptocurrencies this week. Ethereum is still lagging. Okay, so this move that is currently happening, it looks like you can't even call it a triangle as yet. It does not really comply with the rules of a triangle, but it is premature to disqualify it as well, because the structure that we've been looking at, and I don't know if I'm still very confident that it will come back to that level. We've got a pulsing move down to the upside, and this has now broken this level. Can this now make an expanding flat to go and retest that level, or a running flat to go something like this, giving us a 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 correction, and a 1, 2, 3 down? Okay, so that is what we need to wait with this structure. Okay, if this structure keeps coming down like this, then we're going to change the count and expect further downside for Ethereum. So both Litecoin and Ethereum, wait for these structures to complete. Okay, I'm anticipating them to break to the downside. Bitcoin has exact same similar structure in the lower degree as well. And lastly, Ripple. Ripple, you can see that structure again. So with Ripple, it has made that structure, this one here, after the impulsive move to the upside. So this can give you a pulsing move, 1, 2, 3, down. Keep an eye, you don't trade this, you trade this. All right. Thank you very much for attending, guys. Please like, share, subscribe on the video, on the channel. And I will see you guys next week again. Have a great week ahead. Cheers, guys. Hope you enjoyed the webinar. Bye-bye.